Welcome to another episode of Angela Talks. I'm Angela Prentner-Smith, the Managing Director of This Is Milk and founder of Neve Learning. And today I'm going to talk to you about my own career path and giving up on my dreams. This is kind of in response to the No Wrong Path campaign by Developing the Young Workforce, where we look at different career paths and, letting people coming into the workforce know that there isn't really a right or a wrong way to do this. And it's all about a journey. And for me, it really was a journey. I was a nomad for 5 years. I'd run away from home and I ended up living in a number of different countries with different people. And I had dropped out of a foundation art course in England, which is an unfunded course. And at the time I had no income, so really couldn't complete it. And from there had continued to travel and decided actually what I loved was the academic side of art. I was always kind of somewhere between too academic and not creative enough, or too creative and not academic enough. So art history really suited me. So I'd applied for university and I had got 3 A's in my A levels, and I'd applied to London, Leeds, Glasgow and Edinburgh. And I really only wanted to know I could get into London because it was the best course for history of art at that point. I didn't get into Leeds, which had the lowest entry qualifications I'd applied for, which always bugged me. And really it was between Glasgow and Edinburgh. And if I'm totally honest, one of the draws with Glasgow and Edinburgh is that Scotland had 4-year degrees. So it meant it was another year of actually not having to figure out where my income was going to come from, as I could get student loans effectively to live off. So I came up to Glasgow and Edinburgh, and I stayed in Edinburgh during the festival and decided I couldn't live there. It was too busy, there were too many hills and I couldn't handle the noise, which is kind of ironic because Glasgow can be quite noisy as well. But the lovely West End, Glasgow University, I went and was like, yeah, I can live here. And I ended up living in Glasgow for well over 20 years after that point. But my degree, which I loved, was in history of art, and I was even acknowledged in the Hunterian magazine because I'd reattributed a painting from a Dutch master to another. And I was kind of on a path to lead a more academic life because I had done research internships and was quite well thought of in my faculty, and was being encouraged to go down the route of sort of a master's and PhD and get into academic art history. However, I also worked the whole way through university. I had a job at the student loans company and I'd been promoted several times. And by the time I finished university, I really was in a position of, I wanted to earn some real money and I wanted my own front door. I didn't want to be kind of a nomad anymore. I wanted all my stuff in one place, which was really important to me at that point. In my final year, I managed to find a job share position still in the student loans company in a managerial position, which meant I didn't have to work evenings and weekends anymore because that was really quite tiring, particularly when I had a dissertation to write. So that restricted, though, which modules I could take within the faculty. And one of the only ones that I could get to work was a multimedia analysis and design course. So back then we weren't even calling it digital. But that one course, which taught me all around how to plan a website, how to research for it, how to do a Gantt chart, and really the basics of digital media usage and navigation and all of that, set me up, basically. I finished my degree and I got a first class, and I also at that time a full-time position for the management role that I was in the customer service department came up, and I really did want to earn some money. So I applied for the job, I got it, and 6 to 7 months later, a role for what was then called an e-business analyst came up. Because I had the experience within the organization that gave me the kind of strategic context, and I had this one module in multimedia analysis and design, I got the job. And it was a great position because it was a newly formed role. They didn't really know what to do with it. It was just all this new stuff that they were just learning about, like user research and like rolling things out to the call center and how to influence accessibility. So I got to be involved in digital projects from end to end. And that really is where my career started and has led me down the path that I am today. So really, it was a scheduling conflict and the desire to have my own front door that led me to where I am today. So that really is just the kind of start of there is no wrong path. And I figure I can always go back to history of art and to academia. So that's me for today. That's been Angela Talks. If you do like what I talk about, please do subscribe and listen in for the next one on the Developing the Young Workforce path.